Hello, brothers and sisters. This is Tina. It's time for our daily devotional. Today, we're going to read a passage of God's words about Christ's humanity in regards to directed by the divinity. And the incarnation is such a great mystery. There's so many different things to learn about it, which is this amazing thing to see God becoming flesh, the extravagance within it. And so let's read a passage of God's words. God says, "The humanity of God incarnate exists to maintain the normal divine work in the flesh. His normal human thinking sustains his normal humanity and all his normal corporeal activities. One can say that his normal human thinking exists in order to sustain all the work of God in the flesh. If this flesh did not possess a normal human mind, then God could not work in the flesh, and what he needs to do in the flesh could never be accomplished. Though the incarnate God possesses a normal human mind, his work is not adulterated by human thought. He undertakes the work in the humanity with a normal mind, under the precondition of possessing the humanity with a mind, not by the exercise of normal human thought. No matter how lofty the thoughts of his flesh are, his work is not tainted by logic or thinking. In other words, his work is not conceived by the mind of his flesh, but is a direct expression of the divine work in his humanity. All of his work is the ministry he must fulfill, and none of it is conceived by his brain. For example, healing the sick, casting out demons, and the crucifixion were not products of his human mind, and could not have been achieved by any man with a human mind. Likewise, today's work of conquest is a ministry that must be performed by the incarnate God, but it is not the work of a human will. It is the work his divinity should do, work of which no fleshly human is capable. So the incarnate God must possess a normal human mind, must possess normal humanity, because he must perform his work in the humanity with a normal mind. This is the essence of the work of the incarnate God, the very essence of the incarnate God. Amen. This passage is a really deep passage of words, but it's a very good passage showing that Christ has the normal humanity. He has the normal human mind, but he's different than us because the divinity is what is expressed through the humanity. Right? So God reveals that the humanity of God incarnate exists to maintain the normal divine work in the flesh, the divine work that God needs to do. So the humanity is just used so God, the Spirit, can do the work he needs to do among mankind. So his normal human thinking, right, it sustains the normal humanity and his normal activities. God reveals if this flesh did not possess a normal human mind, then God could not work in the flesh, and what he needs to do in the flesh could never be accomplished. Because God comes to work as an ordinary, normal human with the divine essence. So Christ is a combination of humanity and divinity, but for God to work amongst mankind to save mankind, he needs to have the humanity, but the divinity is the Spirit that really does the work. So his thought process and the words that he speaks, it's not adulterated by any human thought. And all of his words that he speaks, it's not tainted by logic or thinking like we do. Totally different than we do, right? His work is not conceived by the mind of his flesh, but is a direct expression of the divine work in his humanity. So, like I said, this is a pretty deep passage of words, but it's understanding the incarnate God that it's, God becomes a man, but everything he does is the divinity at work within the humanity. So God reveals to the incarnate God must possess a normal human mind, must possess normal humanity because he must perform his work in the humanity with a normal mind, learning how to read and write and things like that. Yeah, God reveals, like, for an example of, the work he did 2,000 years ago of healing the sick, casting out demons, and the crucifixion. It wasn't products of his human mind, and it could not have been achieved by any man with the human mind, but it was the divinity at work. And today it's the same thing. God comes to bring the truth. Mankind does not possess the truth. So the divinity is what he's able to do. He's able to express the divine language of God himself, of the Spirit. So it's not done by his own thinking. It's not tainted by human thought, but it's the Spirit working within him through the perspective of a flesh. So his appearance is just a normal human being, but the inner divinity is that of God himself. Amen. So if you'd like to learn more about the Lord's second coming, please let me know, and I'd be glad to get you into one of our sermons. And if you'd like to share a little bit, go ahead and share on this passage, because that's all I have to share on this passage today. And we'll see you next time. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.